Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I'd like to talk to you about 7 steps to control your financial destiny. I want you to take the time to listen, and I encourage you to listen to it again and again and again, because sometimes when you hear something at a different time, your life is in a different space, and you hear some things that you did not hear the first time, like going to see a movie that you've seen before. There's some things that you'll see, you say, whoa, I didn't see that the first time. So the same thing in expanding your consciousness and beginning to elevate the quality of your thinking. It's a process that you must review on a regular basis. That faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. But by your working and training your mind to serve you, you will accelerate the possibility of creating wealth in your life. And so controlling your financial destiny, the first step, which is major, that I talk about all the time, yes, and you know what it is, a mindset, a millionaire mindset. That takes a process. I encourage you to think about how much money you want to create. That's number one. Number two, what are you going to do with it? What's the purpose of it? Why is it that that's important to you? The other thing is writing it down and understanding that you must bring some value. What is it that you have? What is it that you're going to exchange in the marketplace in order to do that? I remember something I heard by Jim Rohn said, you don't get paid by the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. So you have to train your mind to serve you. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And so engaging in this process of training your mind. Well, how do I do that, Les? One of the things I encourage you to do that I did for years and still do today, train yourself to read 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day, to train your thinking. See, we can't control the thoughts that come in our minds, but we can control the thoughts that we dwell on. By reading 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day, you're saturating your mind and you're overpowering the negative thoughts that psychologists say that we think over 87 to 90% of our negative thoughts every day that goes undetected by our conscious mind. So that's the value of reading something positive every day and listening to something every day that's positive that will train your thinking. Now, the next thing, not only is the mindset as important, but information. 2007, Time magazine said the computer is the person of the year. And people were puzzled by that. Why? Because for the first time in the history of the world, everyday people have access to information that wealthy people have. And that really makes a difference. There's a slogan I hear with some radio stations that said that information is power. No, information that is applied in your life, that's power. And so you now have access to information that can help you to build and design the kind of life that you want, that you can learn anything that you so desire. You could just Google it, and there it is, available at your fingertips. The next thing is a network. The man who's still around today that I love is Dennis Kimbrough. He said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. In order to create wealth and control your financial destiny, it's important that you have a network of friends that you can learn from, that you can grow from, friends that can help you to begin to access parts of yourself that you don't know right now, friends who have contacts and relationships and resources that you don't have, people that you can learn from, that you can grow from. You want to develop a network of friends. My mother used to say, if you run around with 9 broke people, I guarantee you, you'll become number 10. So you want friends that have more than you, people that will challenge you, that will bring some value into your life. The next thing, not only a network of friends that's important, but dedication. See, if you are casual about your goals and dreams, they will never happen. You have to dedicate yourself. How you spend your time tells me who you are. See, there's a difference between working from 9 to 5 to working from 5 until you faint. You've got to be willing to dedicate yourself to do whatever is required. A.L. Williams had a saying that I love very much. All you can do is all you can do. And all you can do is enough. But make sure you do all you can do. And so in creating your financial destiny and controlling it, it requires dedication. The next thing is system. There's no secret to success. There's a system. And you must learn the system. A lot of people say, well, I'm not a detailed person, or I never worked for a major corporation. That's what I said. I gave myself an excuse in the past for not learning the things that I needed to learn. And I never forget what my mentor said. He said, Brownie, all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You can learn. Creating wealth, controlling your financial future, it requires a system. It's something you can't wing. It's something you can't do by flying by the seat of your pants. You must learn to put together a system. Have people around you who have the skills and the knowledge and the ability to put together systems that you can execute that will allow you to control your financial future. The next thing is energy. If you're casual about your dream, you will end up a casualty. It requires energy. You've got to be fired up. I call it hunger. You've got to be hungry. And when you are willing to put forth the energy, when you're willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have, the energy that you must invest is above and beyond that which is commonly accepted. And most people are low energy, flat energy. You've got to work on yourself. As you think about creating wealth, I want to ask you something. What's your strategy for being here? You got to have a strategy. See, in order to create wealth, it requires a lot of energy, a lot of work on your part, dedication on your part. So that means that you want to get a physical checkup, you want to exercise, you want to set aside time that you're going to take care of you so that you will have the energy and be able to put in the time necessary to accumulate wealth that will allow you to control your financial destiny. And the next thing is managing your time. That is managing yourself. Time is important. And so where are you putting your time? How are you using your talents, abilities, and skills? That's important to know, because whatever you're doing with your time, that tells me who you are. And so it's important to prioritize what's important to you. Because when you look at the end of the day, all of us have 24 hours. And so you've got to ask yourself, what's important? What is it that I need to do? One of the things that I encourage you to do is get a list of something that you know that if you do these things, and I'll say, let's say get a list of 7 things that you know that these are 7 action steps that will move you in the direction of your dream. Now, when you get ready to go to sleep at night, think about what is it you want to get out of the day that's coming up. The next day, most people just trying to get through the day. You want to get something out of the day. And so you list 7 things that's important to you that would move you closer to your dream. You write those things down the night before. You read those things before going to sleep. And when you get up the next morning, you read those action steps and you start working immediately on those action steps. And don't do anything else until you have checked them all off to make sure that you've got that done. If you make a habit of doing that, of taking the 7 most important action steps that will move you closer to your dream, of the 7 steps of creating financial independence, if you do that, you'll be surprised at how fast you'll be able to reach your goal. You'll be surprised at how fast you'll be able to accumulate wealth and control your financial future. You have something special. You have greatness within you. That's my story. and I'm sticking to it.
I want you to think about your goals and dreams. What is it you want to do with your life, particularly now? Because what we know is the life is fragile. I was planning not to come out till 2027. And then somebody whispered in my ear, called life. Who said you gonna be here in 2027? I know you want to be. Did you remember Michael Jackson? They spent millions of dollars saying this is it.
That was it.
But it was not the it they had in mind. Only put off for tomorrow the things that you don't mind dying in you today. And I said, I got to come out. I've been in so long. I've been talking to squirrels. I even have a squirrel friend who's taught me squirreling. Which said right then in squirreling, I'm so glad to be here and talk to you about focusing. Because in order to make it now, with all the distractions that's going on, that you have to focus. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. A lot of people are focused on entertainment. A lot of people have checked out. A lot of people are snapping, having meltdowns in traffic, road rage, in grocery stores, arguing about toilet paper, family members arguing in the bedroom about their relationship, waking up in the morning and said, you know what? I don't want to do life with you anymore. I feel lonely whenever you are around. I'm out of here. And so as we look at ourselves, look at our goals and dreams, one of the most important things we have to do is focus on what gives you a sense of peace. I've been ending relationships that don't bring value to me and that are not peaceful. See, I've come to know that you don't have to help life bring drama. Life will traumatize you by itself. You don't have to augment and complement the process. But there are people who have a propensity for drama, and any little thing can take them and tilt the needle in that direction. No, this is the time you want to focus on peace. If you don't have a peaceful state of mind, if you don't pour into yourself, a person that don't have a sense of peace, they're subject to snap at any time. That's why we're seeing unexplained violence. We see people that's making dumb, stupid decisions that cause them to throw their lives away because of the decisions they make. When anger goes up, ignorance increases and intelligent thinking goes down. And so this is a time that you want to focus on peace, and then you want to focus on this question: am I on course? Is this the best way for me to live my life right now? And you want to focus on your relationships and ask the question: what is this relationship doing to me? Is it an asset or a liability? Is it bringing out the best of me? Is it holding me accountable? Is it creating the next greatest version of myself? Do I feel good when this person is around me? I have a friend that I was telling her, I said, tell me how you feel when your husband comes near you. And she called me, she said, I feel threatened and uncomfortable. I said, you need to get out of there. I said, that's unhealthy. She'd been having a cervical cancer surgery for several years. After she left him, she didn't have any more. There are people who can make you sick. You know, you say, you make me sick? That's real. There's a book I read called Who's the Matter with Me? So you want to focus on the relationships. You want to focus on the environment, because environment, it can determine how you feel about yourself and how you see the world. So I'm saying to you at this point in time, focus on that which is positive, that can give you a sense of optimism. Focus on the relationships that can empower you, that can hold you accountable. Focus on your strength, so that in the events that are going on right now, so you can turn those adversities into your creativity and your advantage. You have greatness in you, and you have to be hungry for greatness. It doesn't happen automatically. You have to work hard. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. You have the power authority, and dominion on living life on your terms. I'm through speaking.
Focus is important.
Yes.
What I love about what you said was when you were talking about the distractions.
Mm-hmm.
Back when you were a kid, how many channels were there on TV?
3.
You had 3 distractions.
Yes.
How many YouTube videos have you watched today?
None.
You watch 30 YouTube videos every morning.
Oh, I thought how many channels.
Oh, yeah. You don't watch TV.
No,
you don't have a television.
Yeah.
We don't watch TV in this household.
No.
You know why?
Because what you look at, what you tune into, what you listen to, you turn into. All right? Yeah. No, what you listen to, what you watch, you turn into. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. And what has happened as time has grown, as new technologies emerge, guess what? It becomes tougher and tougher to have focus.
Yes.
So Dad is right. You need to focus on your dreams. That's why we're inviting you to New York on August 14th, if you're going to be there. You need to focus on your family. That's why this is a family affair. If you want to be a part of the first Family of Motivation, our first event since the pandemic. And here's something that's important. You need to focus more on your destiny than you are to your distraction.
That's real.
You know what happens when you focus?
What?
You tune out the world around you, and you start to identify something. You get laser focused, as Miss Lisa Nichols would say, and then after focus comes faith. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Faith. Faith stands for what, Dad?
Finding
answers in the heart. Yes. What does it mean? Why are you going to focus? Because it's hard to make it today if you don't know how to take control of your own mind. And that's what Les Brown's going to help you to do at the Hungry for Greatness event. How to reclaim your power so that you can tap into the power of faith. How do you become the #1 motivator in the world? How do you have millions of fans, not because of how you shoot a ball or how you dribble or how fast you drive or any type of athlete, but because your words help them to believe in themselves.
And change lives.
You know what, Dad? Right now, coming out of a pandemic when the suicide rate has risen over 14%, when
in the military over 50%.
In the military over 50%, when you can turn on almost any channel and see death and disruption and war and misogyny, it's very rare that you can be a part of an event that boosts your faith. Talk to people about why they need to have faith in themselves.
If you want to achieve your goals, you have to see the value of making a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to feed your faith, as Creflo Dollar would say, and allow your doubts to starve to death. When you look at where we are right now, that most people have lost themselves. This is a time to keep your commitment to your faith in your faith.
Hold on, say that one more time.
Keep your commitment to your faith in your faith.
Look at this question right here. How can I risk establishing my own business without support from others? Guess what it's going to take?
Faith. Yeah, you do what you can do, and God will do what you can't do. I started with nothing. Hello, no money, no four-color brochure. Don't have any MBA. Labeled educable, mental retarded. Born in an abandoned building on a floor. Foster kid. Adopted. I have this dream of buying my mother a home. I never did that before. There's a reason we're taught to walk by faith and not by sight. There's a reason we're taught to call forth those things that be not as though they were. Those aren't just words printed on a page. Then we have to demonstrate that. We got to make our prayers equal to our performance.
Whoa.
And a lot of people are throwing in the towel. A lot of people given up. And as we look at ourselves, that faith, it drives us. Faith not tested can't be trusted. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen to you. You can tithe, you can speak in tongues, and life will still kick your butt. The messenger of misery will still come to your house and say, get me some coffee and a newspaper, because I'm going to be here for a minute watching Netflix. I'm going to make your life a living hell. That's the part of the process, but I'll be good. I'll be saved by time. Yeah. So come over here so I can get gangster slap you.
Right. That's so true. And you know what's important sometimes, Dad?
What?
We have to be real. Everyone doesn't have faith.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can go through things that force you to lose your faith. But I know for me, when I lost my faith in myself, my dad's faith in me kicked in. You know why faith is powerful?
Why?
Faith isn't just for you.
No.
It's for others.
Well, without any question. And you know what we're doing now? One of my children just said, I want to work with you. I've seen this for several years. And he was judging the possibilities of what I can do based upon my past failures, based upon the fact that I was diagnosed with 4th stage cancer. And I'm glad. Some things happen to you, some things happen for you. I said, you don't know me like that. Come on now. You know I'm coming. Listen, come here.
So
come here. You don't know me like that. Don't write me off because I'm 77. Don't write me off because I've had some failures and disappointments and setbacks in the past. Don't write me off because somebody with a stethoscope around their neck talking about how long I got to be here. I like what one of our members in our Hungry to Speak group said, you be the doctor, I'll let God be the timekeeper. Woo!
It's a scripture that when I first heard it and read it, I just said, "Ooh, boy, that's cold-blooded." I couldn't wrap my mind around it. It didn't have any compassion in it. He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has, shall be taken away. Oh my God. You sing it. He that hath, the person who hath, they will get, and the person who don't have, even that little bit they have, shall be taken away. That doesn't seem right. But there's a question. He that hath what? Vision. People without vision perish. Ambition, drive, a willingness to work, stubbornness, perseverance, faith that roars so loudly it doesn't give you an opportunity to hear the doubts that you have within yourself. You have those qualities, you will get. You have those qualities, you restore everything you lost and more. You have those qualities, angels will make room for you. Come. Let's intervene here because he won't quit. She won't stop. We've done everything and they won't stop. Come, we got to intervene now. And then let's go find a wimp, somebody who's stopped, somebody who's allowing themselves to be consumed by fear. They're weak. Yeah, because God has not given them a spirit of fear, but of power. They ain't got no power. They're consumed in fear. They can't even think straight. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. This place where you are, where I am, this place We've been picked out to be picked on. This place, we are more than conquerors. This place is a testimony, no test, no testimony. This place, no guts, no glory. This place, faith not tested can't be trusted. This faith will find a way. Yeah. We need to know that. We need to saturate ourselves with words that will empower us right now. Our children are watching. Our children are not okay. There's an article, Google it. Our kids are not okay. The suicide rate among children, teenagers, and younger is soaring because they're watching us. See, how we live our lives, Jim Rohn said this, how we live our lives, it can be a warning or an example. Did you hear me? How we live our lives, our children are watching. It will be a warning or an example. A warning of what not to do or an example of what to do when tragedy and interruptions and crises show up. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that having done all to stand. This is our time to stand. This is our time to be actively engaged in this thing called life. Our children are watching us. There are generations yet unborn that are depending on us. There are people who gave their lives, like a John Lewis said, create some good trouble. It's our time. It's our time. You have something special. God is on your side. If God is for you, who can be against you? You got a winning team. I'm looking for, and I'm on a mission for people who can hear me. If at some point in time when you're a little kid or a grown person, you're going through some stuff and you heard my voice. And the reason you heard it, because what's in me is also in you. And the reason you responded and came out of the darkness into the light, because there's a calling on you to do the same thing. You and I are cut from the same cloth. You're branches of the same tree. If my message and my method and my approach resonates with you, I'm not talking about my hairstyle. My kid didn't play hairstyle and I'm kid, no. I'm talking about my message. And you have a message in you. You have a story in you. You would like to help people, the millions of people who need to hear a multitude of voices. I want you to put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section. And allow us to introduce you to the Power Voice system that teaches you how to tell your story, that teach you how to create an experience with your voice and your story, to transform people individually and collectively. Allow me to mentor, to coach you, to bring out the greatness in yourself and to bring out the greatness in others. If that's your calling, I love to tell you, and I will always remind you, a job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. If it's your calling, put voice in the comment section. If you can hear me in your heart, I'm not challenging your ability to hear with your ears, because you wouldn't still be here with me. I don't have any prints translating my word. So if you're still here, the only reason you're listening, because what's in me, it's in you. You and I are cut from the same cloth. We are branches of the same tree. It's time to make a decision. Put voice in the comment section. We don't know how much time we have left, do we? Michael Jackson said, "This is it." And it was. Okay. Put voice in the comment section. Live each day as it were your last. Because what we learned from the coronavirus, one day it will be. Toby Gatson, we graduated together at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, 1963. Wow. Classmate had COVID-19 and he kicked COVID's butt. Toby, I'm so happy for you, brother. So happy. Prayed hard for you, but you always been a fighter since we were in high school. Boy, I tell you, you and Larry Littles, who played for the Miami Dolphins, boy, we went to school. We would miss school because we were characters. We were always clowning. We always wanted to know, what will we do next? We came to see each other for cafeteria and physical education. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, that's back in the day. I hear young people today, these millennials, talking about back in the day. They don't know anything about back in the day. I got t-shirts older than them. But at 75, my goal is to finish strong. At 75, my goal is to train the best speakers on the planet. At 75, my goal is to find people who are hungry to make an impact with their lives, who are hungry to learn how to use and access their power voice, who are hungry to live a life that will outlive them. Yeah, you forget your years will forget you. And I want to leave this with you. As you look at your goals, be stubborn about your goals. Be stubborn. Don't give up on your goals. You will fail your way to success. Don't give up on your goal. Make know your vitamin, as Suzanne de Pass would say. Don't give up on your goal. Be stubborn about your goals. Be flexible and versatile. Ask for help. A lot of people won't do that because of ego edging God out, because a lot of people, as a result of pride cometh before a fall. Ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. You don't have to figure it out. Get started. Do what you can with what you have, and God will do what you can. I want you to think about your life right now. I was reflecting on when I decided to become a professional speaker. I looked at my life and I just said, you know what? I want to do more. I want more. I want more for myself, my family, my mother, and I want to be in charge of my own destiny. And what I was doing at that time was not providing that. And it got to a point, I don't know whether or not you've ever been there, that just doing something 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, just to pay the bills, to keep a roof over my head, and for transportation and food on the table, it just didn't get it. I mean, if you can understand how I felt, it just didn't get it. I didn't find that fulfilling. One, I was doing something that wasn't me. And I was doing something to survive. What it takes to live versus what it takes to survive are two different things. And so here's what I realized, that if you're not willing to take a chance on you, if you're not willing to learn something and reach beyond your comfort zone so that you can explore some other possibilities for yourself, you'll never discover the greatness that you have within yourself to do more, to have more, and to experience more. So I wanted to see what else was out there for me other than what I was doing at the time. I was a salesperson at Sears, and they said, if you're the top salesperson, that you will get a promotion to be the sales manager. Well, I was the top salesperson for 6 months in a row, and they told me they couldn't promote me. I said, no, don't say you couldn't, just say you won't promote me. Well, they said, well, the reason is it will lower morale. Lower morale? Yes. Everybody in that area there would be very upset. I was the only raisin in a glass of milk, if you know what I mean. I said, what? I said, come on, you gotta be kidding me. No. We would love to give you the promotion. I said, excuse me, don't use the word give. I've earned this. 6 months in a row, I've earned this. You said, if you're the top performer, you will be selected for manager. Now you're changing the rules. Now I had a choice. They said I would lower morale. So I took a chance on me. I wonder what happened to the morale when the top performer left. And they had the unmitigated gall to ask me to train the people that they were going to put over me. I said, hello, do I look like Mr. Buckethead? No. Be a team player? No. You know, some people got nerve, you know what I mean? They got nerve up in here, up in here. I said, I got to do something that puts me in charge. If you want to be in charge of life, but I'm working from home now. This is what I do. When I'm not talking to you, you know what I'm doing? I'm speaking to corporations. I'm speaking to organizations. I'm speaking to different groups of people who want to be motivated and inspired, and helping them to create a sense of engagement and unification, even though they're separate geographically. And I'm doing that from the comfort of my home. I teach people how to use this computer to bring their personality through, their passion and their energy through, to create a significant emotional event. See, the reason I have the advantage of doing this than the average person, because I was in radio for many years. I couldn't see the people that I was talking to, and you do it after a certain period of time. You develop some skills intuitively that you know when you're connecting with people. And so that has given me a competitive edge, being in radio for so many years. That's why I'm teaching people now how to do virtual seminars and workshops now, and be successful at it. I'm successful at this, and one of the top impactful speakers doing this because of my background. Do something beyond your comfort zone. Learn something new so you can see what's in you. You got some more stuff back there, but you'll never find out what it is if you don't test yourself. And I was seeing these people speaking everywhere, and I said, I'm gonna put myself to the test. I look at them, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. And so part of the whole process, because I was listening to motivational messages on a regular basis, and I was getting fired up. Now, write this down. The people that are going to make it now, the people that are going to take advantage of this breakthrough. Listen, we work hard for where we are right now. Don't sleep this period now. Good times, they have an expiration date. Bad times, they have an expiration date. We just came through something. With the election of 2 senators, the scale has tilted. The force of evil has been subdued. Listen what I said. Not destroyed, but subdued. It will raise its ugly head again. So you want to maximize this time. You want to milk this moment. You want to make your move right now. And one of the things that I do, and I encourage my kids to do, when I make some money, I operate like I don't have a dime. Like I don't have a dime. I start working harder. And this is what you have to do. The people that are going to be successful are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. What is it that most people won't do? Here's what they won't do. Learn something new. They're comfortable with what they're doing now. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. So, learn something new. If you're not willing to learn anything new, no one can help you. But if you're willing to learn something new, like I decided to do this, no one can stop you. I'm my own boss. I call my own shots. And I'm not saying this to you to impress you, but to impress upon you that you got it like that too. And that's why I'll train you how to do that, how to use your voice, how to use your gift of gab, how to use your knowledge and your skills. People with knowledge and skills are working for corporations. You need to learn how to work for yourself from home virtually and control your own destiny. Be your own boss. That's what time it is. Here's something else. I discourage you. Don't do this if you're not hungry. Did you hear what I just said? Now, I just told you you ought to do this, right? And then right after that, come on, Les, what are you saying now? You're telling me don't do it if, yes, if you're not hungry. If you're going to make it today, you got to be hungry. The 47 million people are going to lose their jobs from artificial intelligence. Millions of people have lost their jobs because of coronavirus. You think you're the only one out here? No. It's a different market right now. It's different. There are people that are desperate, going through foreclosures and evictions, lost their jobs, lost their businesses. So the people that are going to come out on top, the people that will snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, they're hungry. When I came out here, I was hungry. I got 5 sons and 5 daughters and a mother that I wanted to take care of and buy a home for. You got to be hungry. People that are hungry are relentless. You got to get your hustle on. People that are hungry are the first ones there and the last ones to leave. Most people not hungry. Most people are conditioned to do just enough to keep from getting fired, working in an environment where they've been paid just enough to keep from quitting. It takes some time to step out of that mental conditioning. People that are hungry, when I worked for WVKO, I was the program director, I was news director, I was manager of station operation, I did commercials, I did editorials, I did a talk show, The Voice of the People, whole lot of stuff that they didn't pay me for. Why, Les? Because I wanted to learn. I wanted to make myself indispensable. That's why I did it. I wanted to make myself more valuable and increase my value for the operation. You have to have that kind of attitude about life. That are you increasing your value every day? If you were on the stock market, would you invest in you? Most people have to say no. Why? They're not reading anything. They're not learning anything new. They're operating within their comfort zone, and they're praying every day that they don't lose a job that they hate. That's what you call mixed emotions. See somebody you hate drive off a cliff in your car. You're glad they're gone, but not in your car. Oh, behave, hello, whatever. No, it's a different place now. You got to be hungry. You have to get your stuff together. Average is over. The being average, doing just enough to get by, no. And when I talk to people, I can ask a certain question. I can tell the hungry ones and the ones who are slackers. And they're everywhere, the pigeons. See, today, employers are looking for eagles. You go outside right now and see some pigeons, but it's going to take a minute to see some eagles because they fly high. This is what time it is. And when you look at yourself, look at your goals, look at your dreams, this time demands that you get outside of your comfort zone. This time requires that you invest in you. That's what I was willing to do. The people that will be successful are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People who are not successful have large television screens, and people who are successful have large libraries. Hello? Oh. People who are hungry are willing to discipline themselves. They're willing to dedicate themselves to learn something different. See, anything can be mastered if you're willing to put in the time and put in the effort and focus yourself on learning how to do that to make yourself stand out. In the attention economy, this is the attention economy. You got to make yourself stand out. Yes, you just can't mosey through this time and think you're going to get some customers. So you have to think in terms of market takeaway. What value are you bringing that's superior to everybody else? You've got to operate out of the thinking of Henry David Thoreau. Do not go where the path may lead. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. You got to set a new standard.
Stop waiting for validation and take control of your life. Too many people waste years seeking approval from others, waiting for someone to recognize their worth, or hoping that the world will suddenly hand them the life they want. But the truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to give you permission to chase your dreams. If you keep waiting for external validation, you'll be stuck in the same place, watching others move forward while you remain trapped in self-doubt and hesitation. The most successful people in the world didn't wait for someone to tell them they were good enough. They decided for themselves. They took action, even when no one believed in them, even when people laughed at their ambitions, and even when they had no support. They understood that self-confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you create through action. Confidence is built through taking risks, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and proving to yourself that you are capable. If you want to change your life, you have to stop caring about what others think and start caring about what you want. One of the biggest traps in life is the need for validation. People hold themselves back because they fear judgment, criticism, or rejection. They hesitate to start a new business, switch careers, or pursue their passions because they are afraid of what their friends, family, or society will say. But the reality is, most people are too focused on their own lives to be concerned with yours. The opinions you are so worried about won't matter a year from now, let alone 5 or 10 years from now. If you let fear of judgment control you, you'll live a life of regret, always wondering what could have been if you had just taken the leap. Taking control of your life means making decisions for yourself, based on what you truly want, not what others expect from you. It means setting goals that excite you, making choices that align with your vision, and refusing to let the fear of criticism hold you back. It's about realizing that you are the only person responsible for your success and happiness. No one else can do it for you. You have to take ownership of your path and commit to doing the work, even when no one is clapping for you, even when no one notices your efforts, and even when progress feels slow. Your life will change the moment you decide that you don't need anyone's approval to go after what you want. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need validation to start. All you need is the decision to believe in yourself and the discipline to take action every single day. The sooner you stop seeking validation, the sooner you will gain true freedom. The freedom to live life on your own terms, create your own success, and become the person you were meant to be. No one is going to hand you the life you want. It's up to you to take control, step up, and make it happen. Pain is your greatest teacher, and if you learn to use it, it will become your greatest source of strength. Most people try to avoid pain, run from it, or numb it because they believe that pain is a sign that something is wrong. But the truth is, pain is a message. It is life's way of telling you that something needs to change. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is how they respond to pain. Some people allow it to break them, while others use it to fuel their growth and transformation. Every setback, every rejection, every failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. Pain pushes you out of your comfort zone. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, face your fears, and find solutions to problems you never thought you could handle. If you look back at your life, you'll realize that the moments that challenged you the most were the moments that shaped you into who you are today. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. It happens when things get hard, when you are pushed to your limits, and when you are forced to find the strength within yourself to keep going. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who had an easy path. They are the ones who faced struggle after struggle and refused to give up. They didn't see pain as a reason to quit. They saw it as a reason to push harder. They understood that pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches last a lifetime. Every successful person has faced failure. Every strong person has been through hardship. But instead of letting their pain define them, they used it to refine them. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting pain turn into self-pity. They dwell on their struggles, complain about their circumstances, and look for excuses instead of solutions. But pain is not meant to make you feel sorry for yourself. It is meant to wake you up. It is meant to remind you of your inner strength and show you what you are truly capable of. If you can shift your perspective and see pain as an opportunity rather than a punishment, you will unlock a level of power that most people never tap into. Pain can either be the weight that holds you down or the fire that fuels your success. The choice is yours. You can let your hardships break you, or you can let them build you. You can let rejection stop you, or you can let it push you to become better. Every time life knocks you down, you have two choices: stay down or rise stronger. Those who succeed are not the ones who avoid pain, but the ones who embrace it, learn from it, and use it to become unstoppable. Life is not about avoiding challenges, it is about growing through them. Pain is proof that you are pushing yourself, that you are evolving, and that you are on the path to something greater. If you can learn to see pain as a gift, you will never fear failure again. You will welcome every challenge knowing that it is shaping you into the strongest version of yourself. Eliminating distractions and focusing on what truly matters is one of the most important habits for success. In today's world, distractions are everywhere: social media, endless notifications, mindless entertainment, and negative people all compete for attention. The problem is that most people don't realize how much time they waste on things that do not contribute to their goals. They start their day with good intentions, but before they know it, hours have passed scrolling through a phone, engaging in meaningless conversations, or worrying about things that have no real impact on their future. The difference between those who achieve great things and those who stay stuck is their ability to focus. Success does not come from doing 100 things at once. It comes from doing a few things with absolute focus and consistency. The ability to concentrate on a single task without distractions is a superpower in today's fast-paced world. The mind is like a muscle. The more it is trained to focus, the stronger it becomes. But just like any muscle, it can also weaken if it is constantly overstimulated by distractions. Every time attention is diverted to something unimportant, productivity suffers. When the mind is scattered, progress slows down. But when distractions are eliminated and focus is sharpened, results come faster than ever imagined. One of the biggest distractions is worrying about what others are doing. Too many people waste energy comparing themselves to others instead of working on their own growth. They get caught up in gossip, drama, or trying to prove something to people who don't even matter. But the truth is, none of that will help in reaching personal goals. The only competition that matters is the one with yourself. The goal should always be to improve, to learn, and to take consistent action towards success. Time spent focusing on others is time taken away from building something great for yourself. Another major distraction is negative people. Being around those who complain, make excuses, or lack ambition can slowly drain motivation. The energy of the people in your environment affects mindset and productivity. If constantly surrounded by negativity, it becomes difficult to stay focused and driven. That's why it's important to be intentional about who is allowed into personal space. Surrounding yourself with people who are ambitious, positive, and goal-oriented will automatically push you to stay focused and take action. The best way to eliminate distractions is to have a clear vision and a strong reason why. When the purpose is clear, distractions become easier to ignore. It is not about having more time, it is about using time effectively. Every successful person operates with intense focus and discipline, knowing that every second wasted is a second taken away from achieving greatness. Distractions will always be there, but it is a personal choice whether to let them control life or to take control and focus on what truly matters. Those who master their focus master their future. If something does not contribute to growth, success, or well-being, it does not deserve attention. The key is simple. Eliminate the noise, set clear goals, and take consistent action every day. Raising your standards is the foundation for transforming every aspect of your life. The level at which you live is not determined by luck, intelligence, or external circumstances. It is dictated by what you are willing to accept. Too many people settle for mediocrity because they have conditioned themselves to believe that their current reality is the best they can achieve. But the truth is, life rises to the level of your standards. If you demand more from yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially, you will find ways to make it happen. If you settle for less, you will always find excuses to stay where you are. People who achieve extraordinary success are not necessarily more talented or gifted. They simply refuse to tolerate anything less than excellence from themselves. They hold themselves to a higher standard in their work, their health, their relationships, and their mindset. They don't accept laziness, negativity, or excuses. They don't wait for motivation. They create discipline. They operate with a mindset that says, this is who I am, and this is how I do things. When you raise your standards, you stop negotiating with yourself. You no longer allow yourself to skip workouts, waste time on distractions, or make excuses for why things aren't working out. You set a new minimum for what is acceptable in your life, and then you commit to living by it. One of the biggest differences between those who succeed and those who don't is what they believe they deserve. People who have low standards convince themselves that success is only for others, that they are not capable, or that they don't have the resources to achieve their goals. But those who set high standards believe that they are worthy of success, that they can figure things out, and that they will do whatever it takes to get there. When you demand more from yourself, your actions start to reflect that belief. You push harder, you work smarter, and you refuse to settle for anything less than what you know you are capable of. Raising your standards also means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to be better. The company you keep influences the standards you set for yourself. If you are around people who accept mediocrity, it becomes easy to do the same. But if you surround yourself with individuals who are driven, focused, and constantly improving, their energy and mindset will push you to elevate your own game. You start thinking bigger, acting bolder, and demanding more from yourself simply because of the environment you are in. The key to lasting success is making high standards a part of your identity. It's not just about setting goals. It's about shifting your mindset to see yourself as someone who always operates at a higher level. It means holding yourself accountable and refusing to lower your expectations just because things get difficult. The moment you decide that your old standards are no longer acceptable, everything changes. You stop waiting for things to get better and start making them better. Your habits improve, your decisions become stronger, and your results start to reflect the new level you have set for yourself. When you raise your standards, your life will follow. Discipline is the foundation of success. While motivation may come and go, discipline is what keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Most people rely on motivation to take action, but motivation is temporary. It is an emotion that fluctuates depending on circumstances, energy levels, and mood. Discipline, on the other hand, is the ability to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It is the habit of showing up every single day, whether you are excited or exhausted, whether things are going well or falling apart. Success is not about big moments of inspiration. It is about consistent effort over time. The people who achieve their goals are not the ones who feel motivated every day, but the ones who push through when they don't. They wake up early, put in the work, and stay committed to their routines even when no one is watching. They understand that discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. They don't allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They operate based on their commitments, not their feelings. The most powerful thing about discipline is that it builds momentum. The first few days of starting a new habit or working towards a goal are the hardest because there is no immediate reward. It is easy to quit when results are not visible yet, but those who stay disciplined long enough start to see progress. Small improvements compound over time, leading to massive transformation. Discipline creates habits, and habits create results. When an action is repeated consistently, it no longer requires effort. It becomes second nature. People often ask how to stay disciplined, and the answer is simple. Remove the option of quitting. When success is seen as the only choice, discipline becomes a way of life. There are no excuses, no negotiations, and no waiting for the right time. The right time is always now. Every time discipline is exercised, it becomes stronger. Every time an excuse is entertained, it becomes weaker. The mind and body adapt to what they are trained to do. When discipline is prioritized, laziness and procrastination lose their power. One of the most important aspects of discipline is consistency. Doing something once or twice is easy, but doing it every day requires a commitment that most people are unwilling to make. Consistency is what builds trust in oneself. When a promise is made to take action and it is followed through, self-respect grows. Confidence is built not by external validation, but by keeping commitments to oneself. When discipline is mastered, there is no need to wait for motivation because the habit of taking action is already ingrained. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, luck, or resources. It is discipline. It is the ability to keep going when others stop. It is the ability to push through discomfort and sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term success. While most people search for motivation, those who are truly committed focus on discipline. They understand that the road to success is built on showing up every day, doing the work, and refusing to quit. Discipline is not a choice. It is a necessity for those who want to achieve greatness. Negative people can silently drain energy, kill ambition, and limit potential without even realizing it. The company you keep shapes your mindset, influences your decisions, and determines how far you go in life. If you are constantly surrounded by people who complain, make excuses, and lack vision, it becomes difficult to maintain focus and motivation. Negativity is contagious, and over time it seeps into your thoughts, making even the strongest ambitions feel impossible. That is why cutting out negativity and surrounding yourself with growth-minded individuals is essential for success. One of the biggest challenges in eliminating negativity is recognizing it. Sometimes it comes from friends, family, or colleagues who have good intentions but unknowingly discourage progress. They project their own fears, doubts, and limitations onto others, making success seem out of reach. They say things like, "Be realistic. That's too risky," or "It's not possible." These words may seem harmless, but over time they plant seeds of doubt. The mind absorbs what it is repeatedly exposed to, and if it constantly hears negativity, it starts believing in limitations. The fastest way to change your life is to change your environment. Surrounding yourself with people who think big, take action, and push their limits will naturally elevate your mindset. When success is the standard in your environment, mediocrity becomes uncomfortable. When the conversations around you are about growth, opportunities, and solutions, your thinking shifts in the same direction. It is not about completely cutting people off, but about being intentional with energy and time. There is a difference between supporting people and allowing them to hold you back. If someone is constantly draining energy, adding negativity, or discouraging growth, limiting their influence is necessary. Another form of negativity comes from self-doubt and limiting beliefs. Even after removing negative influences, if old thought patterns remain the same, progress will be limited. The way to overcome this is by actively feeding the mind with positivity, learning from successful individuals, and continuously upgrading knowledge. Reading books, listening to inspiring podcasts, and engaging with mentors or successful people will gradually rewire thinking. The more exposure to positivity, the less power negativity holds. Energy management is crucial for maintaining focus and drive. Spending time with the wrong people, engaging in unnecessary drama, or consuming negative content drains mental and emotional energy. When focus is split between growth and distractions, progress slows down. The best way to stay on track is to be selective with attention and energy. Choose conversations that inspire, environments that challenge, and people who uplift. Protecting mental space is as important as protecting physical health. Success is not just about working harder, it is about working smarter. Being in the right environment speeds up progress while negativity slows it down. The people around you either add value or take it away. To reach the next level, negativity must be replaced with ambition, doubt with belief, and excuses with action. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people creates an unstoppable force, making success the only outcome. Comparing yourself to others is one of the fastest ways to kill confidence, motivation, and personal growth. In a world where social media constantly showcases highlight reels of other people's lives, it's easy to feel like you're behind, not doing enough, or not good enough. But the truth is, comparison is a distraction. It shifts focus away from personal progress and onto external factors that have nothing to do with individual success. The only person worth competing with is the person you were yesterday. When energy is spent on comparing instead of improving, valuable time is wasted that could be used to build something great. Every person's journey is different. Some people achieve success early while others take longer. Some start with advantages while others must work harder to create opportunities. Looking at someone else's progress and feeling discouraged is unfair because the circumstances, experiences, and challenges behind their success are often unseen. What looks like an overnight success is usually years of hard work, discipline, and sacrifices. No one posts their struggles, failures, or late nights filled with doubt. The moment comparison takes over, it becomes difficult to appreciate personal achievements, no matter how big or small. The real competition should always be internal. Every day is an opportunity to be stronger, smarter, and more disciplined than the day before. When the focus is on self-improvement rather than external validation, real growth begins. The goal should not be to match someone else's timeline, but to create a life that aligns with personal vision and values. Progress is not about being better than others, it's about becoming the best version of oneself. Small daily improvements, even if they seem insignificant, compound over time and lead to massive results. Comparison often leads to negative emotions like jealousy, self-doubt, and frustration. It shifts attention to what is lacking instead of what is possible. This mindset creates unnecessary pressure and stress, making it difficult to stay motivated. Instead of comparing, the better approach is to learn from those who have achieved success. Instead of feeling discouraged by someone else's progress, use it as inspiration. Ask questions like, what can I learn from their journey? Or how can I apply similar principles in my own life? Growth happens when energy is directed towards solutions instead of self-criticism. Another important lesson is understanding that success is not a race. There is no fixed timeline for achieving goals, and everyone moves at their own pace. What matters is consistency and staying committed to the journey. Focusing on long-term progress rather than quick comparisons leads to deeper fulfillment and sustainable success. It is essential to remind yourself that no one else is living your life, making your decisions, or facing your challenges. The path to success is personal, and comparing it to someone else's only creates unnecessary limitations. The most successful individuals understand that their greatest competitor is themselves. They measure progress based on where they started, not where others are. The key to long-term success and happiness is staying focused, setting personal goals, and improving daily. Growth comes from effort, discipline, and persistence, not from measuring against someone else's success. The only real challenge is becoming better than the person you were yesterday. Results speak louder than words. In a world where people constantly talk about their dreams, plans, and ambitions, very few actually put in the work to turn those words into reality. Talking about success is easy, but proving it through action and results is what truly matters. People respect results, not excuses. No one cares about how hard the struggle is, how many obstacles exist, or how difficult the journey has been. What matters in the end is whether the work was done and the goal was achieved. Success is built through consistent effort, not through endless talking or seeking validation. Many people get caught up in making big promises, setting grand goals, and announcing their plans to the world, but then fail to follow through. They mistake talking about success for actually working towards it. The problem with this approach is that it creates a false sense of accomplishment. When effort is put into discussing goals rather than executing them, it feels like progress is being made, when in reality, nothing has changed. Instead of telling the world about plans, the focus should be on quietly working towards them. When real results start to show, there will be no need to explain anything. Success will speak for itself. Discipline and execution separate those who achieve their goals from those who simply dream about them. The most successful individuals operate with a mindset that prioritizes action over words. They don't waste time proving themselves to others or explaining their process. They let their results do the talking. Instead of arguing, defending, or trying to convince people of their potential, they focus on building, growing, and improving. They understand that talk is cheap and that in the end, results are the only thing that truly matter. The most powerful proof of effort is undeniable success. When something is accomplished at a high level, recognition becomes automatic. People take notice of those who deliver results, not those who just make claims. The key to standing out is to be so good at what you do that there is no need for explanations. Those who are truly successful don't need to announce their achievements. Others recognize them. This is why silent work and relentless execution are the foundations of greatness. There is no need to seek approval or validation from others when results are strong. When skills, achievements, and consistency are undeniable, respect and recognition come naturally. Instead of chasing validation through words, it is better to focus on actions that create lasting impact. The best revenge, the best proof, and the best response to doubt or criticism is undeniable success. Actions will always carry more weight than words, and true winners understand this deeply. The world doesn't reward those who talk the most. It rewards those who deliver. Those who focus on execution, discipline, and consistency are the ones who rise above the noise. At the end of the day, all the talking, planning, and explaining mean nothing if there are no results to back them up. Success is not about convincing people, it is about showing them. Work in silence, stay consistent, and let results do all the talking.
How many of you right now feel like you're capable of more, but something keeps holding you back? How many of you have ever felt stuck, not because you lack potential, but because something inside of you just isn't clicking? Listen to me, success is not about talent, it's not about luck, it's not about circumstances, it's about what's happening in your mind. It's about mental strength. The strongest people in the world, the ones who dominate in business, in sports, in life, aren't necessarily the smartest or the most skilled. They are the ones who have mastered their mind. They control their emotions instead of letting their emotions control them. They show up every day with relentless consistency, no matter what. They take full ownership of their lives, no excuses, no blame, just pure responsibility. And today, I'm going to give you 5 habits, 5 mindset shifts that separate the mentally strong from everybody else. Because if you don't master these, you will always be at the mercy of your emotions, your fears, and your excuses. But if you do, you will become unstoppable. Let's dive in. Control your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. This is one of the most powerful principles that separates mentally strong individuals from those who struggle with uncertainty, negativity, and self-doubt. Your mind is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on problems, they become bigger and more overwhelming. But if you train yourself to focus on solutions, opportunities, and what you can control, you shift your entire state of mind, and suddenly life starts working for you instead of against you. Mentally strong people have mastered the ability to direct their focus intentionally. They don't allow distractions, setbacks, or external circumstances to dictate their mindset. They take command of their thoughts. They make a conscious choice every single day to focus on progress, growth, and possibilities. This isn't something that happens automatically. It's a skill, a habit that must be trained and conditioned. Just like a muscle, think about the most successful people in the world. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. Do you think they waste their time focusing on what's wrong? No, they train themselves to find solutions. They condition their minds to see possibilities where others see obstacles. They focus on what they can do, not what they can't. And this mindset gives them an unstoppable edge in everything they do. Imagine a person who constantly focuses on why they can't succeed. They tell themselves they're not smart enough, not talented enough, or that life is unfair. Their mind reinforces those beliefs, and their actions reflect that negativity. On the other hand, someone who chooses to focus on solutions will see opportunities where others see dead ends. They'll ask better questions. What can I learn from this? How can I turn this around? What's the next step I can take? The answers they come up with propel them forward instead of holding them back. One of the most effective ways to take control of your focus is by asking powerful questions. Your brain is like a search engine. It will find whatever you tell it to look for. If you constantly ask, why does this always happen to me? Your mind will give you a list of reasons why life is unfair. But if you ask, how can I turn this into an opportunity? Your brain will start searching for ways to make it happen. Questions determine your focus, and your focus determines your reality. Visualization is another tool they use. They don't just hope things will get better, they see it in their mind's eye. They create a clear picture of their goals and mentally rehearse their success before it even happens. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's training the brain to focus on winning. When the mind believes something is possible, it finds a way to make it a reality. At the end of the day, focus is a decision. You can either let the world control your attention, or you can take charge and direct it toward what empowers you. When you master your focus, you master your emotions. When you master your emotions, you master your actions. And when you master your actions, you master your life. Embrace discomfort. Growth only happens in discomfort. Mentally strong people understand this at their core. They don't shy away from challenges, they seek them out. They don't avoid struggle, they lean into it. They have trained themselves to get comfortable being uncomfortable because they know that discomfort is the gateway to transformation. Think about the people who never change, who stay stuck in the same patterns year after year. Why? Because they fear discomfort. They fear failure, rejection, and uncertainty. They would rather stay in a situation that isn't working than step into the unknown and take a chance on something better. But the truth is, the discomfort of staying the same is far worse than the discomfort of growth. Look at elite athletes. They push their bodies beyond their limits every single day. They don't stop when it gets hard. They push harder. Why? Because they understand that every rep, every sprint, every ounce of pain is making them stronger. They've conditioned themselves to embrace discomfort because they know that's where the real growth happens. One of the biggest forms of discomfort people struggle with is failure. Most people avoid taking risks because they're afraid to fail, but mentally strong individuals see failure differently. They don't see it as the end, they see it as feedback. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a stepping stone. The people who achieve the greatest success are the ones who have failed the most because they were willing to take action despite the discomfort. Look at the greatest entrepreneurs, leaders, and innovators in history. Every single one of them faced massive failures before achieving success. They embraced the discomfort of rejection, criticism, and uncertainty because they knew that pushing through those challenges was the only way to grow. Think about the first time you did something difficult. Maybe it was public speaking, starting a business, or pushing your body through an intense workout. At first, it felt uncomfortable, but over time, what happened? It became easier. You got stronger. Why? Because you exposed yourself to discomfort enough times that it became your new normal. That's the secret. The more you embrace discomfort, the more resilient you become. Your threshold for challenge expands, and things that once seemed impossible become second nature. If you want to be mentally strong, you must train yourself to do the things that scare you, the things that stretch you, and the things that force you to grow. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the price of progress. It is the path to mastery. It is the key to unlocking your true potential. The only way to reach the next level in any area of life is to step into the discomfort that comes with it. Master your emotions. Your emotions do not control you, you control them. This is the mindset of mentally strong individuals. They don't let fear, doubt, frustration, or anger dictate their actions. They don't allow temporary feelings to determine their long-term results. They have learned to master their emotions instead of being mastered by them. This is what separates those who thrive under pressure from those who crumble. Most people go through life reacting. Something happens and they immediately respond based on how they feel in that moment. If someone says something negative, they get defensive. If they experience a setback, they get discouraged. If things don't go as planned, they spiral into frustration. Their emotions dictate their actions, and because of that, they live in a constant state of uncertainty, always at the mercy of whatever is happening around them. Mentally strong people operate differently. They understand that emotions are powerful, but they also understand that emotions can be directed. They don't suppress how they feel, but they also don't let emotions take over. Instead, they train themselves to use emotions as fuel. Fear becomes motivation, frustration becomes drive, pain becomes power. Every emotion has energy, and when you learn to redirect that energy in a way that serves you, you become unstoppable. Think about an athlete who is about to compete. If they allowed fear and nerves to control them, they would never perform at their best. Instead, they take control of their mental state. They channel that nervous energy into focus. They reframe their fear as excitement. They have conditioned their mind to work for them rather than against them. This isn't something that happens by accident. It happens by training. One of the most effective ways to master your emotions is by shifting your perspective. Most people experience emotions based on the meaning they give to situations. If they lose a job, they see it as a disaster and they feel defeated. If a relationship ends, they see it as a failure and they feel broken. But mentally strong individuals ask better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, how is this happening for me? They shift their mindset from victim to warrior. The way you speak to yourself determines how you feel. If you constantly tell yourself this is too hard, you will feel overwhelmed. If you say, I can't handle this, you will feel powerless. But if you tell yourself, this is making me stronger, or I will figure this out, you shift your emotions instantly. Self-talk is not just a motivational tool, it is the foundation of emotional mastery. Another powerful strategy is controlling your physiology. Your body and mind are connected, and how you move affects how you feel. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with power, your emotions follow. This is why mentally strong people use movement to shift their state. They don't slump over when they feel down, they change their posture. They don't sit in sadness, they take action. They use their body to influence their emotions, instead of letting emotions dictate how they carry themselves. People who struggle with emotional control often get stuck in negative loops. Something goes wrong, they feel bad, and instead of breaking the pattern, they reinforce it by dwelling on the problem. Mentally strong individuals recognize these patterns and interrupt them. They change their focus, they move their body, they shift their perspective. They don't allow themselves to spiral into negativity because they know that every moment spent in a negative state is a moment wasted. Be relentlessly consistent. Motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. Mentally strong people do not rely on fleeting bursts of inspiration to take action. They don't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect conditions, or the perfect timing. They have built a mindset of relentless consistency, showing up every single day, regardless of how they feel. The problem most people have is that they only take action when they feel like it. When they're excited, they work hard. When they're tired, they make excuses. When things are going well, they stay consistent. When obstacles appear, they lose momentum. This cycle keeps them stuck because they are letting their emotions determine their progress. Mentally strong individuals refuse to let that happen. They understand that true success is built through repetition, through discipline, through unwavering commitment. Think about the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the highest performers in any field. They didn't get there by working hard once in a while. They got there by doing the work every single day, whether they felt like it or not. They built routines and habits that keep them moving forward. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. Imagine someone who wants to get in shape. They start working out for a few days, but then they miss a session, then another. Suddenly, they've lost momentum and it feels impossible to start again. Now compare that to someone who commits to showing up every day, no matter what. Even if they don't feel like it, even if they only do a little, they keep moving. Over time, this consistency compounds and the results become undeniable. Mentally strong people understand that discipline is like a muscle. It must be trained. The more you practice consistency, the easier it becomes. What starts as effort turns into habit. What was once difficult becomes automatic. This is why the strongest people in the world have daily rituals that they never break. They don't negotiate with themselves. They don't give in to excuses. They have made success non-negotiable. Most people think they need motivation to start, but in reality, motivation comes after action, not before. When you take action, even when you don't feel like it, you build momentum. That momentum creates motivation, and the cycle continues. This is why mentally strong people never wait for inspiration. They take action first, and the motivation follows. The real test of mental strength is not how hard you work when you're excited, it's how committed you stay when things get tough. Anyone can be consistent when everything is going well. But what happens when you're tired, when you're stressed, when life throws obstacles in your path? That's when most people quit. But mentally strong individuals push through. They have conditioned themselves to keep moving forward no matter. The strongest people in the world are not the most talented, the most gifted, or the most fortunate. They are the most consistent. They are the ones who show up day after day, year after year, regardless of circumstances. They have built a mindset of relentless discipline, and because of that, they achieve what others only dream of. Take full responsibility. Mentally strong people don't blame others, make excuses, or wait for someone else to fix their problems. They take full ownership of their lives, every decision, every action, every result. No excuses, no victim mentality, no shifting blame. The moment they take full responsibility is the moment they take full control. Most people go through life pointing fingers. When something goes wrong, they blame their upbringing, the economy, their boss, or their past. But mentally strong people understand that responsibility equals power. The more they own their circumstances, the more they can change them. Taking responsibility doesn't mean controlling everything, it means controlling how you respond. Instead of saying, "This isn't fair," they ask, "How can I turn this around?" They eliminate excuses. They don't say, "I don't have time." They say, "I haven't made it a priority." They don't say, "I can't afford it." They say, "How can I create the money?" They refuse to be victims. No matter what has happened, they focus on what they can do next. They don't wait for motivation. They don't depend on luck. They don't settle for mediocrity. They hold themselves accountable, follow through, and take full responsibility for shaping their future. Mentally strong people understand that taking responsibility is the key to power. They know that if they blame others, they give away control. If they make excuses, they stay stuck. Instead of focusing on what's unfair, they focus on what they can do to change their situation. They take ownership of their time, decisions, and emotions. When something doesn't go their way, they don't waste time complaining. They ask, "What can I learn from this?" They recognize that every setback is a chance to grow. Instead of saying, "I can't," they ask, "How can I?" Instead of waiting for someone to rescue them, they create solutions. Taking full responsibility means following through. Most people say they'll do something, but when it gets hard, they quit. Mentally strong people don't. They commit. They keep promises to themselves. They know that success isn't about luck, it's about discipline, action, and ownership. They control their thoughts, emotions, and reactions, shaping their future on their terms. This is it. This is where the separation happens. Everyone wants success, but very few are willing to build the mindset it takes to sustain it. You've just learned the 5 habits of mentally strong people. You now know how to master your emotions, how to be relentlessly consistent, how to take full responsibility for your life. But knowledge means nothing without action. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these habits and commit to it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the level of mental strength you bring to the table. And if you want more strategies to break through, to level up, to become the absolute best version of yourself, make sure you subscribe to Tony Robbins' Track and stay locked in, because this is just the beginning. Now go out there and make it happen.